Hey traders, Jason here from Levitt Brothers. So last week, the S&P 500 printed a new all-time high 3 times, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Each day it printed a new high. Didn't always close a new high, but it printed a new high. So it's already, we're in the first month of the year. We already got 3 new highs. So in this video, I want to track S&P 500 all-time highs, compare it to previous years, talk about what tends to happen, and maybe hint at what is likely to happen this year, or more likely to happen than not happen, based on the fact that we already have three new highs. So let's go into it. Just a quick video here. All right, so here is the number of S&P 500 all-time highs each year, okay, since 1950. So in 1950, there were 49 new highs, and in 1951, there were 34, and then there were 36, and so on and so on. So from 1950 till now, this is the number of new highs we've had each year. So a couple things I want to point out. First of all, new highs tend to come in groups, okay? So you have like a lot of new highs here, but then no new highs here, okay? A fair amount of new highs here year after year, but then you have a span of several years where there are very few new highs. Okay, so that's one thing, is like you either get the market's either acting really well, it's in bull mode where it's trending up year after year, a little bit of corrections along the way, but for the most part it's doing well. And those bull markets last many years, and you tend to have many new highs year after year. Or you go into bear market mode where the market just doesn't do well, and there's a long time in between new highs. It doesn't mean the market's always doing poorly. So for example, over here in like 2004, 5, and 6, the market actually did fine, but because we're so far off the highs, it was, even though the market might have printed a 15 or 20% gain, we were so far from the highs that no new highs printed. All right, so that's first, is number one, is you tend to either get you get these clusters of new highs or clusters of no new highs. Second thing I want to point out is the tendency to either get very few new highs, okay, there's a lot of zeros, ones, and twos down here, or you get a lot of new highs, okay? The average since 1950 is 19.3, but there's not that many data points in the middle. You either get a really good year or you get a really bad year. There's very few years in the middle. So if that's true, if you either have a good year or have a bad year, maybe it's helpful to look at, right now we have 3. I grabbed this chart from All Star Charts in the middle of last week before Thursday and Friday. We actually have 3 right now. So is it meaningful that it's January, we already have 3 new highs, and if we're likely to get either a big number or a little number, does the fact that we already have 3 lean us towards having a good year? Okay, I would say more likely yes than no. Like, there's no guarantees. We don't know for sure. There's definitely some prints in here that are 5, 6, 4. There's a 9. So we certainly could go up to a new high and print a new high a couple more times, but then still pull back and never see those highs again. But given the fact that you tend to have a lot of new highs or very few new highs, the fact that we already have 3 is a really good start to the year, and it does kind of point us in the direction of, hey, odds are better, odds are pretty decent that we at least have a decent year. Okay, we could have a print of like 20 new highs, and then we could sell off at the end of the year. Obviously, there's a lot of scenarios, but I would say the fact that we already have 3 is a good start to the year, and it kind of points us to continuing to have a good year. The market was weak just yesterday. Weakness was concentrated in a couple pockets, but overall the market actually just didn't do that poorly. Advanced decline line was up, and a lot of breath breathings were built on previous gains. So anyways, just want to point this out. Okay, market tends to either have a really good year or a really bad year as you measure with all-time highs, and since we've already had 3, I would say that points us in the direction of having a decent year. All right, we'll see you next time.